Thank you for joining us today, and congratulations on being selected as one of our top 3 nominees for the 2024 Gender Equality Changemakers Awards. Now, could you please introduce yourself and just tell us a bit more about you?
Right. So my name is Edwige Takasi. I'm the CEO of Women in Financial Inclusion Africa Consulting. I live and work in DR Congo. And I have been working in the financial sector for the past 17 years, and throughout my career, I have noticed that many women face difficulties in growing, whether they're trying to build a career or whether they are entrepreneurs trying to grow their business.
Thank you, Azola. Good morning once again. My name is Abimbola Kejile. I have the corporate sustainability function at Wema Bank, where I'm responsible for driving the sustainability initiative and agenda that we put together as a bank with great focus on environmental, social, and governance. That's ESG. I've been doing this for the past, I think about 5 years, and I'm passionate about gender equality because I believe that if women are given more opportunities, we can actually change the world for the better.
Thank you, Azola. My name is Sefa Kobuedu. I work with Development Bank Ghana, and I'm in charge of our women and youth initiatives. So the Development Bank Ghana was set up to provide funding to the private sector, and we seek to be inclusive in all that we do. And to be able to do that, we've actually set up a desk that takes care of our women and youth initiatives to make sure that no one gets left behind. And that is the role that I play in Development Bank Ghana.
A few years ago, I made some detailed analysis and noticed a trend which I call the 30% rule. In an environment that favors quantitative performance only as a criteria for promotion, women would grow in general, but they would tend to hit a glass ceiling at some point, reaching roughly 1/3 of all statistics. So that's what I noticed in my personal experience, but also through this analysis I made. So those statistics could be percentage of women staff, percentage of women in managerial position, could be percentage of women clients even. And I noticed that companies that exceed this figure of 1/3 approximately are generally those that have a specific focus on women, whether by choice or by default. And also, I realized later on from the literature that such companies are performing better, in fact. That's the reason why 5 years ago, when I resigned from the bank I was working in and created a consultancy firm, I decided to focus on women's economic empowerment.
We've been doing this across the bank, the marketplace, and as well as in our community, various programs and initiatives, activities to ensure that women succeed, women thrive, and women actually achieve their potential. I think that the world is changing, and I look forward to more beautiful things that revolves around the female gender, to be specific, and also the men as well, because the men are not clamoring that they are left behind. So let's make the world a better place. Thank you.
I have 20 years of commercial banking experience, but this new role helps me to actually hone in on females and make sure that we are being intentional in driving funding to our female customers.
Could you describe your capstone project for us, including your organization, country, and individual context? Perhaps you can also include the gender gaps within your market that you're aiming to tackle in your capstone project.
My capstone project is about supporting a leading bank in DRC in their gender mainstreaming journey. And in a nutshell, this consisted of 3 steps. The first one was to perform a gender lens institutional assessment, which resulted in general recommendations on how to perform better in terms of gender equity internally, because that bank had already made the journey when it comes to clients. The second step was designing a gender policy to crystallize the institution's vision and objectives when it comes to gender, so that actions could take place within an institutionalized framework, and last beyond changes in management, because I also noticed that when there's a change in management in a company, sometimes the focus is shifting. And then the third step was the design and rolling out of a women leadership program, which is a 4-month program with a blend of technical skills and soft skills training, as well as mentorship. So that's in a nutshell my capstone project.
My capstone project was actually centered around having more women at the leadership level across the organization. And so having women lead in the African setting is not where we want it to be. The inequality is there, the gaps are there, obviously there. But what we're trying to do is look for more collaborative ways to make women be like the leader that we want and be put in the pipeline, even when it comes to leadership, and actually coordinating, not more than coordinating, actually managing organizations. And so what I intended to do with the capstone project within my own context, as within my own organization, is to help more women to have some voice within the organization, to actually help them to lead and get men as allies to collaborate with men to make this happen. Fortunately for us at WEMA, because WEMA is a future-led organization, we're future forward in terms of that thinking and approach, and we have a leadership that is listening, that is committed, that is actually ready to help women forward. So we have set up a platform called the WEMA Women Network, and so through this network we're able to do quite a number of things, which actually has to do with inspiring women, helping them to aspire for more, creating opportunities for women, and helping them to lead in various capacities. And that was what my capstone project was about, but now putting it in a more structured format, working with leadership and also the chairperson of Women Network and the head of human capital, which is our chief human resource officer. They were quite instrumental to this, as well as our sponsors as well, ensuring that women have the right platform, women have the right training, women have the right learning, women are given opportunities to lead, women are trained using conferences, using leadership through coaching, mentorship, and different aspects, and now equip the women to be ready to lead and also to close the gender gap that we have within the organization. And this we've seen over the past 2 years. We have a new managing director, which has been at the forefront of this. Within this past 2 years, a number of things have happened tremendously for the women. This is the first time in 80 years, the bank is 79 years, will be 80 next year, May, that will have a woman as a board chair. And we have more women within the board composition. So a lot is changing within my organization. And this has really helped in terms of putting the capstone project into realization and bringing all the ideas that we have there into fruition.
My capstone project is basically to mainstream gender in development bank in Ghana. Ghana, like most countries in Africa, is a very patriarchal society, and we find that trickles down into our places of work, into our places of worship, and into society as a whole. And we need to be intentional about our gender initiatives to be able to make any change. My gender initiative is to mainstream gender in Development Bank Ghana. At the moment, before we started the project, we had about 48% of our staff being female, but at the executive level, we did not have any female at the C-suite level. So part of the agenda of the project was to be able to mainstream gender across all levels of the organization, and that is what I sought to do with the project. In addition to that, I also wanted to tackle conscious and unconscious bias, because by dealing with people on a daily basis, you find out that you are not very intentional. If you're not intentional about gender and its impact, you will not be able to get the outcomes that you are looking for. So that is why I set out to do this project.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights with us. Your dedication and efforts towards championing gender change is just truly inspiring. And I just want to congratulate you again on making the top 3 nominees for the GEC Awards for 2024. And we wish you continued success in making a positive impact.